$14,043. That's the bill that I just got from my electric company. Why? I'm mining Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. How much am I even making mining, right? Because I'm largely doing this myself and running most of my own miners here at my home. And we actually bought and took over a farm. This is crazy. That was already like 5 years ago.
All right, just making some mods out here, cutting the driveway in, working on the dream house, solar farm. It's not as fun as it sounds. What do you think?
That was a lot of work. Lots of flagging.
I'm Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. If you've been a subscriber, you will know that my electricity bill has come down by like $3,000. How did I do that? What is my plan moving forward? And how is this impacting my mining profitability? Is this even worth it? And what's my all-in effective electricity rate? And why is it so much higher than it's supposed to be? So I want to take you through the VoskCoin mining farm. But before we do that, I want to shout out today's video sponsor that, you've seen the electricity bill helps me keep the lights on. Revolution Mining, right? You want to mine, but you don't want to do anything yourself. You want to lock in their electricity rate, which may be significantly better than yours. Check them out with the link out in the video description below. So we'll go line by line. This is the pod, manufactured by Digital Shovel. We deployed that on the mining farm years ago. Still in operation, and after their upgraded fans, it's running better than ever before. But pretty big electricity bill. $4,102 is what I got billed for that last month, and that was after using 43,916 kilowatt hour. What's crazy though is my electricity rate was originally closer to 7 cents, and right now it's 9.3. Ouch. This is the Nanopod, one of two. Only one of the two are in operation right now. Nothing's wrong with the other one, other than the fact that stupid field mice ate through like 3 of the air filters, but that's a different issue. This is running a lot of full size and all current generation Bitcoin and Dogecoin mining rigs. It's powered by what I call the 600 CT electric service, right? So it's a CT electric service. It's bigger than my other electric services, because one of the issues with my mining farm is it's all single phase electricity here in the US of A, and most of the meters are 400, which means that you can only safely use approximately 80% of that, and it starts to limit just what you can do and your capabilities there. So the 600 CT 400 is wired directly into the bus bar in what I call Nanopod 1. And then 200 goes into the Digital Shovel mini pod, and you'll see the VoskCoin PDUs on the far wall here. So that has expanded my capability, because I was only able to wire 400 amps into the mini pod originally there. So that increases my capacity exponentially. I also pulled additional electric from other places on the farm that continue to expand that capabilities. But the point is that some miners in the mini pod can be ran off of this, and then all of the miners in the Nanopod are ran off of this. That added up to $4,284 last month, consuming 48,440 kilowatt hours, which resulted in an electricity rate of 8.8 cents. And it's 884, and the pod is actually 934. So it's literally half a cent better. And per the electric company, it is the same utility rate. So it's a bit peculiar, and we'll have to look at demand charges and fuel surcharges and things like that as to why exactly did it shake out this way. This is the gray shed, the VoskCoin Immersion mining shed, where we do liquid cooling with the boys. Everything in here is an immersion system. Immersion system with previous generation Bitcoin and crypto mining rigs, to be honest, was incredible in many ways. However, immersion mining sucks now, especially on single phase. I wouldn't waste the time, I wouldn't waste the money, and it's so messy. So, I hate to say this, I ramped down some of the immersion mining shed last month, which reduced my bill to $3,027, consuming 29,329 kilowatt hours, which put my electric rate at the worst I've ever seen it for the immersion mining shed of 10.3 cents. And here's the issue when you're mining, right? you have these things called demand charges. They can be worded differently, but basically it measures your peak demand and it increases your total bill, right? So if you ran 100 miners for one day and then 50 mining rigs for the other 29 days of, say, a billing cycle, your bill would be exponentially higher, most likely, because of that one day where you ran 100 miners. That's a quick, just layman's assumption way to explain that, but it's not often talked about, and it's something to be very aware of. So a rate that in some previous months was closer to 7 cents has been trending upwards, 8.5-ish cents, over 10 cents per kilowatt hour. I cannot run a viable mining operation with older hardware with that, especially with things like all these shit coins like Cadena blowing up and other altcoins being down, right? Because I do have a lot of altcoin miners immersed, as well as many different S19 models. Then there's what we call the green meter, the green mining shed, the BitX shed, the DIY redneck data center, formerly known as the hard drive mining shed before that. Capitulate. $2,119. 22,503 kilowatt hours. 9.4 cents kilowatt hour charge there. Ow, not great. So that is running one of the immersion tanks in the immersion shed. It also is running a couple miners in the digital shovel mini pod, because that we trenched through the whole mining farm over there, which has contributed massively towards the weed nightmare. And yeah, so that's what that shed does. And honestly, because all of the BitAxes and other mini Bitcoin miners use such little power, I'm thinking about throwing some solar panels up and also installing some batteries and actually basically running everything that I run inside of the shed off of solar and batteries, because it would be a fun, easy, lower cost, lower scale project. And then I would be essentially solo mining for free. Obviously I had all this cost and stuff up front, but if I hit a block, then all that's paid off and then some. I can essentially run in perpetuity with no additional costs adding up there. Regardless though, that's that meter, and that's the way all that's ran throughout the farm at this point. And that's the associated cost. Then finally, I have one more bill, HQ. The VoskCoin HQ, the field building. $511, running a little bit of gear in there. As you can see, fluctuation, some things coming offline. That really kind of jacked up my bill between some miners coming offline and then also just being a lower cost in general. So 3,555 kilowatt hour. If you divide 511 by that, that's 14.3, almost 14.4 cents per kilowatt hour. What the? So $14,043, 147,743 kilowatt hours, giving me a total cost of 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour, all in here on the farm, calling it a transition month. I've been powering down miners that just aren't that profitable, that just don't make sense. Almost all of my gear that I've been powering down went offline in this billing cycle. So my next electric utility bill update video will be a proper representation of what the mining farm is going to look like for the immediate future. A lot of my hardware is top of the line current generation, or definitely good enough, or something where I'm definitely comfortable running it for quite a while at the way things currently are and what the trajectory looks like. So I don't really see many ways to get my electricity bill lower at this point, because I have hardware that I do not plan to turn off, other than just simply lowering my electric bill by the simple act of installing solar panels, right? So I'll just generate some of this electricity, and by generating this electricity, and I look at these electric costs, right, my all-in cost here for last month was 9.5 cents. So just by using it myself, I would essentially be selling my electric for 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour, which is pretty good return, especially with the way that my mining business is set up right now. Like I'm gonna run these, I'm gonna pay this. I'm gonna owe money for that, but I'm running out of financial runway. When your electricity bill is so high, you don't get to keep that many coins in the grand scheme of things. And I can't just shake the feeling that I feel like I'm enriching the electric company instead of my master plan of achieving financial freedom myself. The reality is mining is harder than it's ever been, especially on a small scale. I'm literally competing against publicly traded Bitcoin mining farms that are valued in the billions of dollars. I wonder what VoskCoin would be valued at if I went public. Unless the SEC says I can't say that, then I'll say it wasn't financial advice. So what's next? I'm deploying some more current generation gear, but obviously some gears going offline, a couple rigs going to hosting centers, a couple rigs coming back from repair, a couple rigs going out for repair. I'm just trying to keep it moving. So, hey, that's the latest. Oh, I forgot to. And finally, it's like, well, how much am I making with all this? Well, on the Bitcoin mining front, which is the easiest to kind of compute, and unfortunately, Bitcoin hasn't been trading as high lately as it has, over the past few months comparatively. I'm mining about $290 of Bitcoin per day, right? So times 30, that's $8,700. And then I'm mining 80-ish to $100 because the price has been kind of all over the place of Dogecoin per day. It's like 11 grand. And then I have some other things like Ethereum Classic and like Zcash have been weirdly jumping off the charts lately, and I finally got my Monero back after a year-long dispute, or my Monero ASIC miner, a year-long dispute with Bitmain over that one. So that was quite an experience. I'm also mining around $80 a day in Nervos Network CKB. Right, so I'm right around like my electricity bill, probably like 2-3 grand over it. But I mean, that's not a lot of returns when considering this hardware doesn't last forever, from mediocre build quality to just literally the planned obsolescence of all this stuff. It's easy to get down when the market's kind of like this, like the electric rate, and just it's frustrating. Myself and many others, to be honest, very much anticipated a wild bull run by now, and it hasn't really happened. Only Bitcoin has like really topped the charts. But Bitcoin mining in particular has scaled rapidly alongside it, to the point that Bitcoin miners were never exactly the cash cows that they were anticipated to be. The best returns came from simply just mining and holding that Bitcoin long term. It's interesting. It's tough. And when I look at the numbers, a lot of stuff just points back to like, dude, why aren't you setting up solar panels yourself? And all I can say is I've done some, but definitely not enough. I'm Vosk on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. This is 10 Seconds Tales. So I appreciate you. Good luck. Goodbye. And make sure to subscribe for the next update, because it is going to be pretty crazy compared to this one. It's going to be interesting. Definitely the most exciting bill update that we've had over the last year.